go ahead and get started. If you want to go ahead and lay on back on your mat. Placing a hand on the heart and one on the belly. Starting to focus in on the breath. On the inhales and the exhales. Notice as the breath moves into the nose, down the throat, the chest, into the belly. And as it reverses from the belly, chest, throat, and out through the nose. Keeping this breath going. Knowing that you can always come back to any point in time. Taking any water, rest, modifications as needed. And setting an intention for tonight's practice. Could be something as simple as just connecting your breath and your movement together. Feeling as it becomes one in this present moment. Or maybe there's something specific you're wanting to work on, that you're wanting to dedicate your practice to. Releasing that intention, whatever way feels most natural. Letting the hands reach for the back, toes for the front, nice big body stretch. Next breath, letting the knees come into the chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. Finding a little bit of movement side to side on your back. And then settling in. Opening up those arms nice and long, or goalpost arms. The knees will fall to the right as the gaze falls to the left. Feeling the heaviness of the shoulders, connecting with that breath. Next breath, letting the knees, the gaze come back to center. The knees will fall to the left as the gaze falls to the right. Paying attention to the difference of sides. Breathing into the tight spaces. Letting the gaze come back to center, knees will come back to center. Let's let the soles of the feet plant on down. So it's kind of like you're setting up for bridge, except we kind of are, but we're gonna move it too. So those heels are close towards the bum. Fingertips might graze the heels. Gaze up. Lifting those hips up towards the sky, breathe. Exhale, bringing them back down. Inhale, lifting them up. Exhale, bring it down. So connecting that breath and that movement together, lifting the hips with an inhale, exhaling, bringing them back down. You might even keep that low back hovering as you make your way down. If you want a little bit more, once those hips are up towards the sky, I want you to ground that left foot on in towards the earth. That right leg will reach up towards the sky, and you'll breathe. And then you'll switch, letting that right foot come on down. Let the hips go on down just for a breath. Inhale, lift them back up, grounding with that right foot, left leg rising. Breathe. Letting that left foot make its way back down. We'll do that twice more. Exhale down, inhale up, lifting that right foot. This time you might even challenge yourself a little bit more, letting that right heel fall down towards the ground, but you'll keep it at a hover. Keep those hips up towards the sky, really engaging that bum. Lift it back up towards the sky. Bend that knee, let that foot seal on down. Hips are coming down towards the earth. Lift those hips back up, shifting that weight into that right foot, lifting that left leg. Hips are pushing up, let that left heel drop. Lift it back up, bend that knee, let that foot come on down. Hips are coming down. Last time, lifting those hips. Right leg rises. Letting that heel fall down. This time, if you want to add a little flare, you might even let that right heel move out to the side. Woo! Bring it back to center. All the way up, bend that knee, seal that foot on down. Hips are coming down. Inhale, lift it back up. Right foot steady, left leg rises. Exhale that heel down. Maybe you open it up a little. Bring it back in all the way up to the sky. Bend that knee, foot's coming on down, hips are coming down. Letting the knees come into the chest, give yourself a nice big hug. Start finding that movement along the spine, forward and back. Making our way into our tabletop. Nice long spine here, crown of the head towards the front. Shoulders aligned with those hands, knees underneath the hips. Letting that right arm reach out nice and long, left leg reaching towards the back. Finding that length here. Breathe. Next breath, crunch it in. And then extend it out. Crunch it in. Extend it out. Moving at your breath pace. Really connect that breath and movement together. Few more. The next time you're out nice and long, I want you to stay nice and long. Bend that left knee, right hand is reaching back for that left foot. It might grab it or it might not. If you can't grab it or are unable to grab it at this time, just reach that foot back. Let that left foot reach up for the sky so it's going to be flexed, engaging that bum. Very good. Releasing that bind, let that right hand come on down. Keep that foot just where it's at. Pulse it up and bring that knee to the nose. Pulse it up, knee to the nose. Pulse it up, knee to the nose. And we're gonna open it out to the side 3 times. So nice and tight here, and then open it out, bring it in. Open it out, bring it in. 2 more times, open it out, bring it in. Open it out, breathe. Woo, feeling that burn in the outer glute, yeah? Bring it on in. Let that knee relax on down. Left arm reaching out nice and long, right leg reaching out nice and long. Find that balance, find that stability. Connect with that breath. Find the present moment here. Breathe. Next breath, crunch it in. Extend it out. Crunch it in. Extend it out. Crunch it in. Extend it out. A few more. Your breath pace. The next time you're out nice and long, stay nice and long. Find that balance. Bend that right knee. Sole of the foot's reaching up or facing up towards the sky. The left arm is reaching back for that foot for that bind. You open up that heart or keep that foot flexed, just reaching that arm back. Find that balance. Releasing that bind if you took it. Left hand is coming on down. We're pulsing that foot up towards the sky and back. So the sky and back. So the sky and back. 2 more. Sky, back, sky, back. Bring it in towards the nose and bring it back to center. To the nose, back to center, to the nose. Keep it there, crunched in. Let's open it out and close. Open and close. Open and close. Last one, open. Keep it open. Breathe for me. 3, 2, 1. Close it on in. Woo, let's tuck those toes under. Lift those hips, downward facing dog. Paddle out the feet. Find some movement here. Connecting back with that breath, with those inhales and those exhales. Being here in this present moment. Settling in, finding that stillness now. Let's bend those knees. Step, jump, hop, top of the mat. Come up halfway. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up high. Grab a hold of that left wrist, side bend to the right. Back to center, grab a hold of that right wrist, side bend to the left. Back to center, reach up high, little back bend here. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale, coming up halfway. Plant those hands, step, jump, hop it on back. Find your flow. We're meeting in our downward facing dog. Connecting with that breath. Grounding with that left foot. Right leg rises. Bend that knee, stack those hips. That right knee's reaching up for that sky, keeping those shoulders straight on. Breathe. Back into our 3-legged dog we go. Let's let that foot come in between those hands, low runner's lunge. Find that stability here. You might even let that left hip drop a little bit to get that stretch in front of that left hip flexor. Left hand plants down, right arm rising. Exhaling that right hand on down to frame that foot. Left foot becomes nice and light. Step it up, top of the mat. Coming up halfway, exhale on over those legs. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up high. Exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, coming up halfway. Planting those hands, step, jump, hop it on back. Find your flow, meeting in our downward facing dog. Nice big inhales and exhales. Grounding with that right foot now. The left foot becoming nice and light. Let it lift. Bend that knee, stack those hips. Left knee reaching up towards the sky. Keep those shoulders straight on. Breathe for me. Back into our 3-legged dog. Let's let that foot come in between those hands, low runner's lunge. Find that stability. Again, that right knee might drop down to really open up the front of that right hip. Let yourself be nice and soft here. And then finding that strength. Right hand plants down, left arm peeling open. Shining that heart here. Exhale, left hand is coming on down, framing that foot. Right foot becoming nice and light. Let it come up, top of the mat. Folding on over those legs. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, relaxing on over. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up high. Exhale down into our chair. Hands can be at heart center. They can be up by the ears, whatever feels best for that low back. I want you to breathe. I want you to bring that bum down deeper. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale up halfway. Planting those hands. Step, jump, hop it on back. Finding your flow. Meeting in our downward facing dog. So a lot of vinyasas if you wish, but we're connecting with that breath. Letting each movement bring in a breath, or each breath bring in a new movement. Bend those knees. Step, jump, hop, top of the mat. Come up halfway. Exhale on over. Inhale back up into our chair. Breathe. Letting those hands come down to heart center. That bum is still nice and low. Left elbow will find that right knee as we twist. Keeping those knees nice and aligned. Hands can stay in prayer. If you're ready to open it on up, go ahead and open it on up like you're giving a really big side hug here. If you're side hugging, go ahead and close that up. Come back to center, breathe. Right elbow finds that left knee. Another option to side hug if you'd like. Keeping that strength in the legs, keeping that bum down low, keeping that breath. Hands will come back. We're coming back to center. Bring that bum down a little deeper. Feeling that burn, yes. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale, coming up halfway. Plant those hands, step, jump, hop it on back. Find your flow. Meeting in our downward facing dog. Nice big inhales and exhales with each movement. Maybe you begin to start connecting words with these inhales and these exhales. Inhaling in peace. Inhaling in love. And as you exhale, releasing all fear. All right, leg rises. Bend that knee, stack those hips. If you're ready to flip, letting those right toes touch on down. Open up that heart, open up that chest with that right hand rising. Flip it back around if you took that dog. We're all in this three-legged dog now. Let's let that foot come in between those hands, low runner's lunge. Left hand stays planted down, right arm peeling on open. Exhale, right hand is coming down in front of that right foot. I want you to tilt that weight forward. So lots of strength happening in that right leg. Left leg becomes nice and light. And then I want you to stack those hips. Flex that left foot, left arm reaching up high. If you want a little challenge, you might float those right fingers up. Maybe both of the hands even come to heart center. Focusing in on the breath. While we balance, we can't really focus on a whole lot other than staying up. But if we fall down, we come back into the pose. Bending that right knee. Letting that left foot seal down, rising up, warrior two. Nice and strong here. Open up that heart, open up that chest. Soft gaze over those front fingers. Let's interlace those hands behind the head. Nice and loose. And then with that next breath, I want you to bring that right elbow to that right knee. Lift it up. Right elbow, right knee. Lift it up. If it feels nice to even let that right elbow come up towards the sky, that might feel nice. You can go ahead and do that. But we're finding these taps. And lift, moving at your breath pace. You can be nice and slow. You can move a little quicker. But I want you to feel the movement for what it is. Feel as that breath connects with that movement. Feel as that heart is open for receiving here as it's moving through this strength, through this power that you have within you. 3 more. After that third one, you're gonna keep that right arm on that right leg. Release that bind behind the head. Letting that right hand reach for underneath that belly button. Left arm nice and long, so extended side angle. Lift that right elbow. Keep your side body open to the side. So we're not dumping anything here, really feeling it on our right leg. Breathe. All right, we're revolving that back foot, reaching both of those arms for the front of the room. Thunderbolt. Keeping that strength in that right leg. We're almost done. Exhaling those hands on down, framing that foot. Left hand is nice and strong, nice and sturdy. Right foot nice and light. Find that side plank. If that left knee needs to come down, let it come down. Moving those hips up towards the sky. You're lucky we're not doing as much arms as usual. My wrists have been bugging me lately. Breathe. All right, whether that left knee is down or up, we're gonna find some taps. So if you need to let that left knee come down at any point in time, I invite you to do so. Right foot is nice and light. Let it lift. Right elbow, right knee finding each other. Extend it out. Knee and elbow. Extend. Knee and elbow. Extend. 3 more, knee and elbow. Extend. 2 more. Last one. All right, keep this connection here. I want you to extend that right foot towards the side wall here. You feeling it? Yep. Tap it down. Lift it up. Tap it down. Lift it up. I'd advise that left knee to be down if it wasn't already. Tap it down. Lift it up. Breathe. Finding different shapes here. Let it extend back towards the back of the room. Left hand is coming on down. Find that full plank, or you can stay on those knees. Move through your flow, meeting in our downward facing dog. Breathe. Feeling as the lungs expand and as they contract, as they fill with air. They're filled with love, it's filled with hope, and feeling that vibration, that love, that hope within the heart, like it's spreading wings. Left leg rises. Foot's coming in between those hands. And then we're stepping it back because we forgot to flip our dog. Bend that left knee, stack those hips. And then if you're ready to flip, letting those left toes touch on down, left arm rising on up. Open up that heart, open up that chest. Coming back around, back into our 3-legged dog. Now we step that foot in between those hands, low runner's lunge. Right hand stays down, left arm peeling open. Breathe. Next breath, left hand is coming down in front of that left foot. Remember, we're shifting that weight forward into that left leg. It gets a little scary, right, as we lift on up. Stacking those hips. Right foot flexed. Breathe. Nice, big, beautiful half moon here. Making that space in the heart. Feeling that peace, feeling that love. Maybe even floating up the left fingers. Right hand might come to meet it. And if we fall, we come back. Bending that left knee. Right foot sealing on down, rising on up, warrior two. Settling in. Soft gaze over those front fingers. Feel the strength you have here. Let the body fill with hope. Alrighty, let's interlace those hands behind the head. Left elbows finding that left knee. Lift it up. Again, if you want to let that left elbow reach up for the sky because that feels better, please do so. Tap it down. Lift it up. Tap it down. Lift it up. 3 more. Your breath pace. After that third one, again, you're finding that connection, left elbow, left leg. Release that right hand, reaching it out nice and long. Left hand is cupping underneath. And then you're lifting that left arm from that leg, keeping the shape here. Nice and long from those right fingers all the way to the right toes. Breathe for me. Alrighty, revolving that back foot, reaching both of those arms towards the front, lightning bolt, breathe. That left leg holding all that strength here. Exhale those hands on down, framing that foot. Right hand is nice and strong, nice and sturdy. Left foot becomes nice and light, finding that side plank, this opposite side. Right knee can come down if need be. Left arm reaching up high. Feel that strength. Connect with that breath, with those inhales and those exhales once more. Alrighty, we're lifting that top leg now. Knee and elbow meet. Extend it out. Knee and elbow. Extend. 3 more. Your breath pace. Last one, keep that connection. Now we're extending that left foot nice and long. It's kind of like a powerful pose here as I'm like looking at my reflection here, right? It's like a big superhero. I feel like a superhero. I hope you do too. Woo! All right, we're almost done here. Tap it down, lift it up. Tap it down, lift it up. Last time, tap it down, lift it up. Breathe with me, let it go back towards the back of the room. Foot's coming on down, left hand is coming down, meeting that right hand, making your way into that high plank or tabletop. Moving through your flow, meeting in our downward facing dog, however you get there. Connect back with the breath. Back to your intention. Alrighty. So next move, there are 2 options. You can either bend those knees, let that belly kind of rest on the tops of the legs, and you're gonna find some lightness as you hop up into a yogi squat top of the mat. If hopping is not for you tonight, I want you to honor that wish. And you're just gonna step one foot, step the other foot, finding that yogi squat. Hands are coming down. You either hop it back or step it back. If you want, you can even find a chaturanga. Those knees can be down when you find this chaturanga. Push it back up. Let those hips go up towards the sky. Bend the knees. Yogi squat, top of the mat. Hands are planting down. Step it or hop it back. Maybe you yogi or chaturanga it down halfway. Come back up. Hips are up towards the sky. Last time, bend those knees, step, jump, hop, top of the mat. Yogi squat. Breathe. If you have a crow in your practice and you're wanting to play, feel free to add that on in. If you're wanting to play with crow but aren't fully there yet, I still invite you to play. So those hands are down, nice big starfish. Letting the knees come to the upper part by those armpits, upper part of the arms. And I want you to tilt forward. Those of you that are not yet in crow, you're just tilting forward. Feeling that strength, that stability, pushing that ground away to engage that belly. And then if you're feeling a little daring, maybe you lift one foot and bring it down. Lift the opposite foot and bring it down just to see how it feels to be in this crow prep per se. Or if you're in that full crow, I want you to stay there nice and sturdy. If you have a nice and sturdy crow and can stay there for a few breaths, maybe you see if you can keep one of those legs nice and engaged, that side belly nice and engaged. And what's going to happen is you'll shift one knee to the opposite leg. So it's almost like you're in a side crow, but you're still facing forward. So you might play with that, going from one knee to the opposite. Or even if you're not there and you're kind of wanting to play and see how that feels, you can still start up high and then move that foot close next to that opposite foot. And then come up high, switch sides. All right, breathe. Once you're done playing, finding that yogi squat, settling into that stillness, settling into that space. But no rush, just take your time there. All righty, let's let those arms come out nice and long. With the strength of the legs, I know they're tired, but we're gonna be able to get through this. With that strength of those legs, I want you to lift on up, nice and high, reaching up high. Those feet are still wide. Exhale from those hips, folding on over. Left hand is coming right in between the feet. So again, there's some space. It's almost like this wide-legged fold, but a little shorter. Left hand planted down, bend that left knee. Right arm reaching on up. If you'd like, you can bend that right arm behind the back. Find a little half bind, that right shoulder still reaching up towards the sky. Or if you want to find that full bind, that left arm is going underneath that left leg, connecting with those fingers. If you have a bird of paradise that you're wanting to pop on in, feel free to pop it in. We'll be here for a few breaths. If you were in that bird of paradise, I want you to make your way back down if you aren't already there. We're all unwinding those arms, those hands. Wiggle in between those legs. Just wiggle it out. Settle in. Right hand planted, center of the mat. Left arm peeling on open. Left arm tucking behind if it feels okay. Left shoulder reaching up. You might even play with the bend of the knees. That might give you a different feel. Stay connected with the breath. Right hand might go underneath that right leg, finding that bind, or rising up into that bird of paradise. Keep breathing. Just a few more breaths. If you are in that bird of paradise, gently making your way back down if you aren't already down. We're unwinding any bind we took. Both of those hands are in front. Wiggle it out. Hands are planted. You might shift that weight forward to let the heels lift. If you have a handstand of some sort in your practice and you're wanting to pop that in, feel free. Otherwise, we're heel toeing those feet on in, letting the feet be nice and light for this heel toe in, letting the feet meet in a forward fold. You can have a big bend in the knees. That's okay. Let's come up halfway. Exhale over. If you were in that handstand, take your time. We're making our way up, finding our mountain pose. So reaching up high, exhaling those hands down to heart center, letting the hands fall to the side, shoulders rolling away from the ears, grounding in those feet, grounding in with the earth. Nice big inhales and exhales. Those eyes might even be closed if it feels comfortable. But just kind of taking a scan here of the body, noticing how it feels, noticing where it's at. Have we been able to connect with our breath throughout our practice? Have we let our movements be continuous with our breath? Have we made space for love, for peace? As we release the things that no longer serve us? As we release fear? Finding that courage, feeling that courage here. The courage it takes to just show up. Next breath, letting those hands come to heart center. That left leg is nice and strong, nice and sturdy. Right foot is becoming nice and light. Let it come up into a pillar pose. Left hand reaching outside of that right leg, right hand reaching back behind you. If you prefer to find a bind with that foot, either grabbing a hold of that big toe or the outer part of that right foot and extending that foot out nice and long, please do so. But finding the version that suits you best with this twist. Come back to center. Slowly and gently with control. Bend that left knee. Right foot is reaching for the back of the room as we find our warrior three. Spine is nice and long. Those hands can be at heart center. They can be to the sides. See where they feel best. All right, listen up. It's going to get a little tricky. So that right elbow is going to twist, finding that left knee. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if that's going to happen. And that's okay. Maybe it doesn't happen today. Then I want you to bend that left knee. If you need to let that right hand come down towards the earth to help guide you in that twist, please do so. If you're able to find that connection, go ahead and connect with that twist. That right foot is settling on down, so it should be a little easier now to find that twist. If that right knee needs to come down, let it come down. Breathe. Releasing that twist, coming to center, finding our crescent lunge. Right knee can still stay down if you'd like. Again, it's whatever feels best for your body today. Reaching up high, opening up that heart, feeling that courage. Very good. Right hand is coming down onto that right leg or the back of the leg. Left arm will reach up high. Reach it back towards that right corner of the room. And then release that. Let both of those hands come up. Left hand is dropping on down. Right arm is reaching up. We're twisting here. Release that twist, reaching up high. If you want a little bit more, you might even lift that left heel on up. Breathe. Now as you exhale, I want you to let those hips go on back, reaching those arms for the back of the room. So if you have that right knee on down, you're kind of humbling on over that left leg. If that right leg is up, you're finding this extended pyramid. If those arms floating are not working out for you, go ahead and let those hands come down towards the earth. If you need to find even a shorter stance, if that feels a bit better than this wider stance, I welcome you to find that. But we're breathing over this left leg now. Nice big inhales and exhales. Let's take a nice big inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, I want you to release everything out through the mouth. One more time, nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, release out through the mouth. You might even notice how you're able to settle a little deeper into the pose here. When you really embrace that breath. When you embrace those inhales and those exhales. Coming back, bringing that weight back into that left leg, bending that left knee. You can step that left foot on back. If you have that right knee down, you might find this tabletop. Feeling free to go through your flow. We're meeting in our downward facing dog. Bend those knees. Step, jump, hop, top of the mat. Come up halfway. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reaching up high. Exhale those hands down to heart center. Let's find that mountain pose once more. Rolling those shoulders away. Connecting with the earth underneath us. Feeling the sky above us. And the space that the heart is creating. Are we feeling a difference in the sides? Are we feeling a difference with the breath? Are we staying connected with our intention? The beauty in these moments of stillness, how we're able to reflect, how we're able to take a scan as to what's going on, making room to listen, to just be. Next breath, inhaling those arms up overhead. Exhale them down to heart center. Finding that strength now on that right leg, left foot becoming nice and light. Let's lift it on up. Pillar pose. Right hand coming outside of that left leg, left arm reaching nice and long as we twist. Option of extending that leg so you can find that by grabbing the outside part of the foot, or maybe you grab a hold of the big toe and extend on out. Coming back to center, hands at heart center. Bend that right knee, let it be bouncy. Exhaling, left leg on back, warrior three. Those left toes are facing down towards the mat. Make sure that left hip is facing down as well. Spine is nice and long, crown of the head towards the front of the room. Feel that strength in that right leg. Breathe. All right, so options. We're bending that right knee no matter where we are. That's going to create that stability for this next pose. So left elbow might hook outside of that right knee. Maybe that doesn't happen on this side. This could be as well or just this side, it doesn't matter. And that's okay. You can let that left hand come down, let that right hand come to the leg. Just find that twist. Again, that bend in that right leg is going to keep you stable. Letting those left toes come on down. Settling into that twist if you aren't already there. Left knee can come down at any point in time. Keep that in mind. Releasing that twist, reaching up high. Left hand coming down onto that left leg. Right arm reaching back for the back corner. And then bring it back up to center. Right hand coming down onto that left leg. Left arm reaching up high as we twist. Release that, come back to center. Together we reach higher. Exhale, bowing on down, straightening that right leg. A little bit of a micro bend still in there. So those hands can reach for the back on your left knee, or you're up nice and high. Maybe even shortening the stance. You might start with reaching those arms towards the back, and then eventually settling the hands down, framing that right foot instead. Breathe. Keeping that spine nice and long no matter what. Nice big inhales and exhales. Connect back with that breath. A few more breaths. All right, let's come back into that right foot, that right knee. It's nice and strong, nice and sturdy. If that back leg was down on the earth, I want you to tuck those toes under, lift that leg on up. And you're up on those fingertips. Most of that weight is still over that right leg. It's kind of holding you up here. That left leg is nice and light. I want you to tap it behind that right leg. And then let that left knee come down towards the ground. Let that bum come on down. So we're in a twist. That right leg is on top of that left. And just kind of adjusting yourself. See if you can let both of those butt cheeks be down, nice and grounded. Some of you might not be able to cross that foot all the way over that left leg, and that's okay. Maybe you extend that left leg instead. Still feeling this twist. You're feeling that stretch in that right outer hip. Breathe, that spine is nice and long. Hugging in. Left arm is coming up high. Exhale, outside of that right leg. So you might twist, right hand coming behind you. Or if it feels better to just hug onto that right knee, hug onto it. Right hand is still behind you. You're creating that second spine, keeping that spine nice and long. Breathe. So those of you that are still wanting some fire, we've done a lot of twists, a lot of things for strength. You can keep that left arm hooked, right? Maybe you extend that bottom leg just so you can tilt that weight on over, finding a little bit of a twist here. It didn't work out the way I was planning, so this is me playing with these ideas. Go ahead and come back to center. And now we're twisting on the opposite side. I want everybody to extend that bottom leg nice and long. Roll onto the outer part of that left hip. Hands are planted down. Little counter twist. Okay, now if you're wanting to still play a little extra, that left hand can stay grounded. I want you to hug in that left arm to that left rib cage. Right arm reaching for those toes. It might reach the calf. It's okay. You can stay here. This is more than enough. If you're wanting to play, you might find a little bit of movement forward and back. Again, keeping that left arm hugged into that left side body, lifting that bum and our baby grasshopper. Totally up to you. Maybe it happens today. Maybe it doesn't happen today. Very good. Once you're done playing, coming back to center, let's go ahead and grab that right foot, interlacing those fingers underneath, extending that right foot forward. If that left leg feels better to be bent, so you can get a little deeper in this, please do so. Spine is nice and long, belly reaching for the top of that right leg. Bend that knee. That foot's coming down. So rather than coming back up and doing a tap, we're just gonna move on our bum. So right leg is going underneath, left leg is crossing on top, finding this twist on this opposite side. So again, if this side's a little funky, that left leg can be nice and long instead. Or you can keep it tucked. I want you to see if you can invite that left hip to come down towards the earth as well. Breathe. All right, left hand is coming down behind you for that twist, right arm reaching up high, and it might settle in front of that left leg, or you might just hug onto it. But feeling this twist of the spine on this opposite side. Good. Release that. Because we did it on the other side, we're gonna let both of those hands come down right here and just kind of feel how this feels. All right, let's go to the other side. Hands are going on over towards the right. Let's roll onto that right outer hip. Hands are planted down. You might push down and lift up. That feels nice. Maybe you keep that right arm tucked in nice and tight. Create that shelf, that chaturanga arm. That right arm is squeezing into that right rib cage. That's what's gonna help you come up. Left arm reaching in front of those legs, maybe grasping the toes, the ankle, whatever it can reach for. Rock and roll, lifting that bum up. You might notice one side's a little easier than the other, and that's okay. It leaves room for us to play, room for us to work on stuff, which makes yoga fun at the end of the day. Once you're done playing, settling back in, come to center. Let's grasp underneath that left foot, extend that left foot nice and long. That right leg needs to tuck in, tuck it in. Spine is nice and long. See if you can move that belly towards that leg, leg towards the belly. Breathe. Bend that left knee. Let that foot come on down. Unwind that right foot so both of those feet are down on the mat, seal down. Let the spine be nice and long, reaching those hands for the front of the room. Tuck in that chin just a hair. Start making your way down onto your back. If you're still wanting a little bit more fire, feel free to find boat for a few breaths before you settle on down. If you're like, nope, boat is out tonight, take it out, it's all good. But we're eventually meeting with our back upon the mat, those knees up towards the sky, feet are sealed on down. Connecting back with that breath. And in order to connect back with that breath, maybe you let a hand come onto the heart and one on the belly. Feeling as the chest rises and falls, feeling as the belly rises and falls. Feeling that air move through the body. Let's let the knees make their way into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Grab the outer parts of the feet. Open up those legs into our happy baby. Finding a little bit of movement side to side, or you might interlace the big toes with your peace fingers, extending one leg, extending the other, letting yourself be playful here as well. And once you're done playing, maybe you bend those knees once more if they were long. Releasing the feet, let the knees come back into the chest. Finding any final movements your body's needing, your body's craving in order to feel the practice complete. That might mean finding a spinal twist. Maybe you find a bridge, kind of like how we began our practice. Maybe a plow is calling you, or just movements that don't even have a name. Finding what your body needs. Finding these movements, connecting it with the breath. And when ready, settling into that final resting pose, into that Shavasana. Letting the body become heavy. Feeling the weight in the shoulders, the back, the hips, the legs, the ankles, the feet, the backs of the hands. Letting the earth embrace you. Connecting with that breath. Inviting peace and stillness into the body. We'll be here just for a few more breaths. Beginning to bring awareness back into the body, back into the breath. Inviting those gentle movements in the fingers and in the toes. Allowing bigger movements to come into the body. And when ready, and not a moment sooner, letting the knees come into the chest, giving yourself one last big hug. And letting yourself fall on over either to the right or the left side, softly and gently. Taking a few moments in this position of rebirth.
to come back to that intention that you set in the beginning of class. Or maybe coming back to the thought of the breath. And remembering, as long as there's breath in the body, we can always begin again. Making your way up to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed only if it feels comfortable. Letting the hands come to heart center as we bow our head in gratitude. Grateful for this day, for this breath, for this beautiful life that we're given. Thank you to each of you for sharing your practice with me. The light, the love, and the spirit of me humbly bows to the light, the love, and spirit in each of you. Namaste.